Yo, what's up guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over my CRL games and how I finished top 3 in the Clash Royale League today. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and these games are not in live time. I was on call with my coach, Ian, and another friend of mine while I played these games, but I still want to give you guys my insight and kind of like explain to you the thought process of the deck picks, the gameplay, and just stuff like that, because it's pretty much not possible to commentate CRL and focus on it while also playing. So I just want to give you guys the afterthoughts, I guess. My final score was 9-1, having me finish third under the 2 golden ticket winners already, Muhammad Light and Tai, and in my opinion, the 2 best players in the world. So pretty good performance overall. Well, I guess perfect. The top 32 players will advance to a top 32 bracket where the top 8 players of that will go into the monthly finals, and whoever wins the monthly finals wins the golden ticket. So I'm like a third of the way to the golden ticket already. I'm really excited. I hope I can win it. And in this game here, I was against Adriel. He's a previous world finalist from 2023, and he also came second in the first monthly final. So probably a top 5 player in the world and very, very strong opponent. So I knew that against Adriel, I would need to be on point with not only my gameplay, but also my deck picks. We started off with this giant deck here because before we faced Adriel, we had been opening with like a lot of rocket cycle decks like Logbait or like Princess the Bridge decks, because those decks are very strong in the meta right now. So we thought that he would snipe us with like a lava deck, but unfortunately here he went for the Royal Giant, which is actually a very difficult matchup. But I did go for the Fisherman right here, trying to pull in his Monk. He does do a really good Monk ability, but there's one thing that he didn't account for, is that when the Fisherman hooks the Monk, it retargets if it's in the ability. So my Fisherman pulls in his Fisherman, and then I get a nice Evil Wizard down. He does a really bad Fireball to hit the Night Witch, but the Evil Wizard still had its shield, so I went for the Evil Knight here, and here's the moment I knew I won. I raged up here, and dude, everything just lived somehow. I don't know how my Wizard lived, but I knew here his only play was Fisherman, so I just instantly went for a Giant at the bridge, and here I knew that he was about to reach 5 elixirs, so I went for the Fisherman to predict the Monk, but also just like making it so he can't really go for a Monk. He goes for a Monk anyways, but it pulls it in. I go for arrows on the Bomber, and that was tower down right there. Very, very good sequence by me, I guess, and I knew I just had to defend for another 30 seconds. I knew it wasn't game over yet, though, so I made sure to set up a Night Witch on the left side lane because I didn't really want him to go in the weak side lane, but I knew because of this he'd probably go on the right, so I instantly voided on the Monk because I knew the Void would take out the Monk, and the Monk was the only thing kind of stopping my Wizard from defending everything. So I got a really good arrows here, and I knew that he was going to go in on the left with an RG. I don't know why he went Monk instead of RG. He RG'd after, but obviously there's no time left, so I just went for the Night Witch, and then I got a really nice prediction Fisherman on top of the Evo RG, pulling the RG like all the way back to Narnia, and I got a really nice first win to have a 1-0 lead in the best of 3. Alright guys, in the next match I'm going to be showing here, I was against, obviously, Adriel again, since I started the best of 3 with him. We went for the Lava Hound deck here because, obviously, in Game 1, they did end up using the RG deck, and Lava does counter RG, so first of all, me and my coach thought it would be unexpected, but in the second game as well, they used a lot of counters to Lava Hound, but most importantly, they used a lot of counters to the Princess Rocket Cycle deck that I finished first in the world with last season, Game 1 and Game 2. They just double sniped that deck, so we thought that they'd try to triple snipe it with like another cycle deck. There wasn't really anything that beat it too well, but just to be safe, we went for the Lava deck because we kind of like counter sniped their snipe, I guess, and we actually did end up facing what we wanted. I actually did think I was going up against Minor Mortar here. I knew that his final cards would be Poison and Mortar or Poison and Evo Tesla, but because we knew that they would try to snipe the Minor Princess deck with no Minor, we kind of thought that they had Mortar because Mortar would be better. But then I go for the Lava, and he has Valt Guards again, and I really thought he'd Mortar there, but he didn't have a Mortar, so I pretty much instantly lost this game. Well, I haven't lost yet. I'm not going to say if I win or lose, obviously, but very, very bad start for me. This is never how you want to start a CRL match with 900 HP and basically nothing on their tower. But I did have the Lightning. The Lightning is very good against the Archer Queen, obviously, as you guys know, and I knew that he didn't know I have Lightning, so I could get him with a very good surprise factor Lightning. By the way, after he went for those Valt Guards at the bridge, I knew that he didn't have Mortar because he would have went Mortar. That's kind of what I was banking on. That's why I was hovering the Inferno Dragon after I went Lava, because I thought he would go for the Mortar. But he didn't have it. I went for the Evo Bomber here instantly, just knowing he would Evo Valk the bridge. I get a very nice defense here. I had his guards up top as well. I just didn't want to do nothing funny. I didn't want to play no game, so I just lava the back here, and then I miner for the miner, but I didn't catch it, unfortunately. But here was my time to shine. I have the Evo Zap. I have the Surprise Lightning in my pocket, and I knew I would get a really good lightning on the queen, but because I knew he had Tesla, guys, I go for the Inferno Dragon, and I actually get surprised here. He has a rocket. I thought he had poison, like I said earlier, and I was like, what? But then here I did a prediction lightning onto his Tesla because I knew he'd Tesla the Skellydrakes, and I get a beautiful Tesla, guys, because he didn't know I had lightning. And if you guys have ever watched my videos, Ian's videos, you always Tesla on the Skellydrag. So that's why when I went Skellydrags, I instantly lightning the floor instead of hitting the tower. He put the queen high thinking I would hit just the tower, and then I just spam him out, and I pretty much get the entire tower here, and I go for the second lightning. Make sure to kill the Tesla. My Skellydrag locks onto the tower because he's not fast enough, and that does bring his tower into zap range, and I get a very nice win, but an even better comeback just by keeping that lightning a surprise until double elixir. Alright guys, in the next duel here, I was against Droy. Droy was at 8-0 at this point, and I was at 7-1. So if I win this best of 3, I actually did end up qualifying already. Pretty much how this works is if you get 8-2, you're guaranteed to qualify, and then 3 to 7 or 8 players qualify from 7-3, and obviously if you're 9-1 or 10-0, you're definitely going to qualify. So he was already qualified. I needed to win this match to qualify. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, though, obviously, because at this point, Droy was first place in the tournament. It was not going to be easy. I got a really nice monk ability there, just pushing back his monk and taking care of it, taking no damage on my tower from that defense. But because Droy is one of the best RG players, I knew that it wouldn't really be too easy for me to beat him, especially in an RG mirror matchup. We were just honestly trying to counter Royal Giant and Lava Hound here. I mean, not Royal Giant, sorry, Giant and Lava Hound. Unfortunately, he goes for the Royal Giant, though, because Giant is not too good against me, but it's not bad against me either. And then Lava Hound is very good against me because I love to play Princess decks and Logbait and other like Hog decks and stuff like that. So as you guys know, Lava Hound pretty much counters those type of decks. I do go for the Monk ability right here to make sure I keep my Wizard alive. I don't know why, but the Monk ability was actually like not fully reflecting. The Monk was still damaging my tower, but at least I took out the Fisherman and the Monk. And also, another really good thing about that sequence is that I cycled to my Evo Wizard as well, so everything kind of went good for me right here. I didn't really have anything to do, though, so me and him kind of leaked for a bit because I didn't have anything good to cycle. And after I saw that Evo Bomber, I kind of smiled a bit because I just went for the Royal Giant at the back. I knew that he wouldn't be able to go RG at the bridge because if he has RG the bridge, then I just go Phoenix and Fisherman. And he knows I have Phoenix and Fisherman, so it would have just been a very bad RG. So he pretty much just wasted his Evo Bomber, and I knew that I was going to get a pretty good sequence out of this. So I just went for the Phoenix. I went for the Void as well, hoping to hit the Monk only, but unfortunately I actually clipped the Phoenix, so I don't end up actually killing the Monk, but I do get some good damage here, and I got a really nice Barbarian Barrel as well. Very good timing on the Barbarian Barrel, distracting the Monk, and then I just go for Fisherman, knowing I can just reset again with the Monk plus RG. Because all I really need to do in this match is just go Monk RGs. Here, he did kind of a questionable RG. I just did my Monk right here where the Fisherman won't actually pull it just to defend pretty well. And then I got a nice Monk ability here as well. I just popped the Monk ability and then Phoenixed on his Phoenix. And here I have a really good push, actually. He is ahead in damage momentarily, but I knew with this RG I'd get a lot of damage. And here I did a really bold prediction. I went for arrows, and then I went for a prediction Void. Oh, wait, or was that the next one? Oh, well, kind of spoiled right there. But I do go for the Barbarian Barrel here, and I am getting a lot of damage. Take out the Fisherman, take out the Phoenix. Just looking really good, honestly. Up 400 damage. I have the momentum. Not really much he can do from right here because I was actually just like playing very well with RG, which I'm not actually the greatest RG player either, but I'm always confident if I have a good matchup. So I do go for the RG plus ability here. I knew that ability would block the Fisherman or he'd have to wait. He goes for his own ability, but I prediction Void his Fisherman. Really good Void, honestly. Best Void of the whole day, honestly, that I've done. I get a nice arrows here, and I get another RG hit, but he has 514 HP. Looking back, I should have went Barbarian Barrel earlier on top of his Monk. If I went Barbarrel right away, I would have gotten another hit, and that would have secured me the win. But the game isn't over yet. I still need to defend. I need to get another RG hit on the tower and then spell cycle. I do get a nice Monk here to block the Bomber. And here, I thought I won. I didn't think he'd be able to defend this. I do pop the ability, then go for the RG because I knew that it would kind of block out his Fisherman, and then I void the Fisherman again, but I made a mistake again. Voiding the Fisherman was not worth it. I should have just Fisherman to pull the Monk in, but I just didn't really account for the Monk fully countering the RG by itself. That was my mistake right there. Kind of messed up with that one, and 2 mistakes in a row. That's never good, but I knew that I could still win. I went for the Evil Wizard, obviously. I went for the Fisherman, and bro, I can't believe that Phoenix hit my Wizard. I knew he was going to Lightning, so I went for the Void on top of the RG, but here is when I kind of knew I lost. He had the momentum. All he needed was 1 RG hits and 2 Lightnings, and I knew that he'd really easily be able to get at least 1 hit and then just 2 Lightnings, GG's over. Then he got me with the Fisherman. He was just faster than me. I'm not going to lie. He is a much better RG player than me. RG is his best deck. His main deck is RG, so I'm not really surprised that I kind of fell back in this position. I knew I could still win, but it's just all the momentum. He always had cards down. I could never really RG, and here was just game over. He played very well. I'm not going to lie. It was just beautifully, like a beautiful comeback from him, sorry, and he just played so good, man. He's better than me with RG, so he won the mirror match from just a skill difference. I should have won from that position. Alright guys, so going into the next match, I was down 0-1, but obviously since it is a best of 3 format, if I win this game, then we go to a game 3. If I lose though, I'm 7-2 and potentially don't even qualify. I did go for this Electro Giant deck, trying to snipe Graveyard or Lava Hound. Pretty much just a beatdown snipe in general, and Giant too. We just had to be safe against these kind of decks. We thought that he'd try to snipe the Minor Rocket deck, as I've been playing it so much. Finished number 1 with it on ladder, obviously, as I said before. I just go for the Mother Witch on top of the guards here, because I thought at this point that he had, like, a Graveyard deck, but not exactly a Graveyard deck. Like, not a Giant Graveyard deck anyways, but I thought that he had, like, a regular Graveyard deck, or maybe even potentially a Goblin Drill deck, but I see the Night Witch, and I'm like, wait, I just lost, because I know he's just going to Giant Graveyard the bridge, and I just lose, because I can't defend the Graveyard. I go for the Valkyrie here, and I'm just so frustrated, because I'm like, damn, I just wasted my Mother Witch like that. I probably just lost. I go for the Bomber here. Bomber does actually save me quite a bit, but I take a ton of damage, guys. I thought it was over here, and I was getting 2-0'd, and that I may not even qualify for the CRL, and I was going to be so frustrated, man, but, you know, you guys know how it is. You can always win. You can always come back, I guess, just like last game, how he had a very nice comeback. I knew that maybe I could potentially come back as well. Here, I just straight up rip an E-Giant the bridge. I knew that the only card he would have in Cycle here is Evo Wizard, but he didn't have enough for it right away, so that's why he hasn't really used it yet, and he goes for it as soon as he could. He just went for the Evo Wizard behind the tower. He also did it there in case I had NATO, which was very smart. He didn't want me to tornado at opposite lane or anything like that, but I do get quite a lot of damage here, which was nice. I just go for the Mortar opposite lane, kind of thinking he Giant opposite lane, but I was kind of hoping it would go better for me than it actually did. I went for the Valkyrie here on top of the Wizard, but then he had minions. I did not know that he had minions, so kind of a bad mortar from me, but it was more like a surprise factor than actually a bad play. Although, I knew that he had a very hard time defending E-Giant, so if there was a win condition I want here to come back, it'd definitely be E-Giant. E-Giant is really like the only way to break through at this point, because E-Giant is very hard for him to deal with, actually, because he doesn't have like a high DPS unit. I get a nice Mother Witch down. He obviously goes for the Wizard, but I go for the Evo Valk here. Evo Valk was very important right now because it actually takes out the bats, and it also, I think it pulls in the Night Witch too, which is very good. I go for the Evo Mortar, and bro, that Evo Valk actually even hit the minions, so I go for the NATO, keeping the Inferno Dragon alive, and that was so important because it actually kills the Giant, keeps my Evo Mortar alive on like a little bit of HP. I go for the E-Giant, right? Wizard hits it, right? But I go for a Lightning here. I knew I just need a Lightning on the tower. I knew the E-Giant needs to take it, and guys, that mortar actually ends up hitting the tower with the Goblin, like with the old Goblin that killed the Wizard, and I take the tower with like 1 second left, dude. I couldn't believe I took the tower, and here I knew I could win because it's basically just like restarting the game from scratch, I guess, because we both had no damage yet. Nothing had happened pretty much. Kind of a bad Giant by him, so I just went for the Mother Witch plus Valkyrie. Didn't want my Mother Witch to take damage, obviously, and I knew I could get another nice E-Giant the bridge. He just has such a hard time defending E-Giants, as you guys have been able to see. All he really has is Night Witch and Wizard, but I can Lightning both of them and Tornado the other one, so very hard for him, actually. It's just, I had a really unfortunate start without knowing his deck. And then here I'm just waiting for a Lightning. I NATO here just to take out the minions, keep the Inferno Dragon alive. Really good Tornado by me right there. And then I just reset in the back. I know that the only way for me to lose this is to get caught slipping with a Giant Graveyard in the pocket when I don't have enough for Mortar and Mother Witch, because I can Mortar the Giant, Mother Witch the Graveyard, but I just can't get caught slipping. So I went for the Valk plus Inferno Dragon, not taking any risks, no damage again, and I knew it was time to just go for an E-Giant behind the Inferno Dragon. I didn't care that it was going to be behind. I knew I just needed the damage. And right now, I actually do a really, really good heads-up play. I Lightning here, then instantly NATO to pull the Wizard in as well, killing the Night Witch and the Wizard, also hitting the guards, getting me all the damage I need to secure this win. I also Evo Mortar to pressure, knowing that if he Giants the pocket, going to go right to the Mortar. I Mother Witch as well on the Night Witch. It's just going to take out the daggers from the Duchess. I also Evo Valk here to make sure I can pull in the Wizard. Very, very good Evo Valk for me. My Evo Valks were on point this game, actually. Just end up taking out the Evo Wizard there. Giant's dead, and at this point, I knew that I had won. I knew that he'd just be in like a non-stop defense mode because it was just impossible for him to defend and also get a good push in as long as I kept cycling my bombers, my mortars, and my E-Giants, and just nothing he could really do. And I knew that would be tower down and good game. I get him to 5 HP, just drop a Mother Witch in the pocket to clean it up because I knew he would give up, and I got a beautiful comeback. Literally 1 second less in the game, and I lose 2-0, but now I'm 1-1 and I have a chance to make the comeback. Alright guys, in the game 3 here, I finally decided to use it because I just kind of thought, what can he even use to counter this? He doesn't have good spells for Lava, so if he ran Lava, he'd have to run Snowball and Void, or he'd have to run like Lightning Snowball, just something like that. He didn't have arrows or Evo Zap, so I knew that if he used Lava Hound, it'd have to be kind of like a wacky one with no arrows and no Evo Zap, so like Snowball Void or Void Lightning, like something like that, like a combo of those 3 spells. So I was confident enough in my gameplay to actually win this matchup, and then otherwise I thought maybe he'd just run a mirror matchup and try to beat me in the mirror, because otherwise there was really nothing to counter this deck left. He used his Giant deck and he used his RG deck, and those are the 2 best counters right now, and I'm just good enough to beat Lava as long as I play well. So very good start for me already as well. I got quite a few Princess at the Bridge hits, but Droy is a very good player, so even though I knew I could win, I knew he's very good with Lava Hound, and I knew I would have to play very, very good to win, like no matter who has matchups. So I was very focused, and I was trying to make sure that I figured out his exact Lava version before I did anything too crazy. We also had Evo Knight just in case he went for the Mirror matchup, because Evo Knight would be better in the Mirror matchup than Evo Skeletons. I do just sacrifice my Knight here to have the LP shooting. He does an interesting play here, which I don't really agree with. He went for the Miner on top of the tower instead of on the Tesla. I don't really think that Miner was worth it, because if I switch lanes, he has to switch lanes too. So the tower damage doesn't really mean anything if you're not breaking through anyways. You're just kind of trying to get the momentum by using your Miner, killing my units and stuff like that. But it worked out for him anyways. It didn't like hurt him at all. I just cycled the log here. Just wanted to get to my next Princess. Princess to Bridge is just such a mind game, especially in a matchup like this where no matter what he uses other than his ground tank, which at the time I didn't know yet, I can just ignore. Inferno Dragon only gets like 60 damage. Guards do nothing. Well, he didn't even have guards. He had a bomber, but still. I mean, not bomber, bats, I mean. Bats get no damage. Just everything in this deck gets no damage other than the Inferno Dragon for like 60. But then I figured out he had Valkyrie, so I'm like, okay, whenever there's no Valkyrie, I can Princess to Bridge. I did kind of a bad ability. I thought that it would knock the Valkyrie backwards and then the LP would survive, but unfortunately it didn't. I just go for the Knight here, though, and then I have Evo Tesla for the Lava. Very good Evo Tesla right there. I just Skellies here to block the Void and the Miner. Very good block by me as well. I just E-Spirit to keep everything alive, and I get a very, very good defense here. I Princess to Bridge as well. I just wanted to keep up the pressure. Wait, I didn't? Okay, I knighted. I guess I didn't want to be too predictable. I did it now, though. He was very quick on the reactions, though. Well played, the Droy. I just Skeletons here to make sure I don't have to defend it. I knew he'd probably Lava the Bridge to keep the Inferno Dragon alive, but he actually waited a very long time to the point where I thought he wouldn't anymore, so he kind of catches my Evo Knight, and there he goes for the Evo Bats. Evo Bats was a very good deck choice by him, because this deck has a very hard time defending Evo Bats and Lava Pups, but I get a very good E-Spirit, and then I just Princess again, and he has nothing to kill that Princess because he had to avoid the other Princess. So even though he has the Evo Bats, which are annoying, I know that he has no way to kill Princess, and this matchup is very, very winnable as long as I play well. Having the Miner and Loon was very good as well, because usually you only have Miner or Loon, or just not Miner or Loon. You just don't have the combination of the 3 anymore like you used to, but it was very smart, Bam. I Princess to Bridge right here, and then I just pop the ability trying to keep my LP alive, but unfortunately my LP kind of gets grabbed by the Evo Valk, and then I Knight here. Unfortunately, the Snowball knocks it back. Great Snowball, but I Princess to Bridge here again, getting even more damage, and then I E-Spirit for the Inferno Dragon. So this was looking very good for me. In this position, I knew that if I lost, it would have to be a choke. No way I lose this unless I'm playing badly or something. I force out the Valkyrie there, so I just go for the Evo Knight the Bridge, and I Princess predict the Bats. Unfortunately, my Princess wants to be dumb and only hit 3 Bats, unfortunately, but It's all right. Wasn't really the end of the world for me. I knew that I still win this position. I forced out so much elixir on defense. His cycle's messed up, and the only really way he could get damage is from minor chip unless I heavily mess up. So I just hit him with the princess at the bridge, get a nice quick shot. I just go for the knight, and I keep predicting the void. Then I go Evo Tesla for the Evo Bats and for the Lava Hound, of course, and then I get a really nice defense on that minor. Good Inferno Dragon prediction by him, but from this position up 400 damage, it's pretty much unlosable, especially when he's going Balloon into Evo Teslas and then I just Knight here. But he does get a good snowball right there, which gets him quite a bit of damage. But because he did all of that and I have 2 Teslas down, I can just rocket the tower freely. Didn't really have to worry about anything, and I knew he'd predict the Princess to bridge. So as you see, I didn't even select her, just knowing there was no point. And then I just Tesla. I made sure to save my E-Spirit, by the way. Notice how I saved my E-Spirit to make sure I 100% catch that minor and don't take minor hits on my tower. And then I just rocket log to finish off the game, and I got a very nice comeback. I can't believe I actually won the duel after the first game. I literally took the tower with 1 second left. Maybe not even 1 second, like half a second. Alright, guys. The next match I'm going to be showing here is against Muhammad Light himself, the best player in the world. And I did open with Logbait here. Me and my coach were deciding, should we go Logbait or should we go Minor Princess Rocket? And we ended up going for Logbait, kind of for fun, but also at the same time because I knew that my best chance at beating him would just be getting a good matchup with Logbait game 1, because I know if I get a good matchup, I'll win. I'm just confident enough to say that if I have counter with Logbait, I'll win. But obviously I knew they might predict Logbait, but at the same time they may not predict Logbait, because the last 2 times I faced Muhammad Light in competitive, I've opened with Logbait as well. Once for jokes, once serious, and I just thought it could maybe work out, but I go for the Goblin Gang here, and he actually does a really good princess. I princess the bridge as well, and I actually do manage to get 1 shot and end up killing his princess too, so not actually the worst start. I was just hoping to punish his rocket a little bit better, but unfortunately I don't really punish the rocket, which kind of sucks because I was kind of thinking that that was my only chance to win. I didn't have Evo Skeletons in my first cycle. If I was able to cycle my Evo Skeletons first play, I think I maybe could have actually won. That's pretty much the only way you beat this deck, is by getting a good Evo Skeletons and single elixir. I did predict the bridge block right there, and I go for the barrel, and here I actually thought I was going to win, but he did a really good prediction. I Goblin Gang, and he immediately predicted me with the princess, which I really like that play. Very smart play. If he didn't do that, I think I would have won the game, because either he goes for the princess there, right? Or I just go princess to bridge and then instantly Evo Skelly's in front. No matter what he does, the Evo Skelly's will lock on because he had no log and no E-Spirit. So it was a very heads-up smart play by him. But I knew that you can always mess up against Logbait. If you play good with Logbait, you can always sometimes have a small chance to come back, right? Not even come back. I'm only down like 200 damage, but I know that in a matchup like this, 200 damage is the difference between winning and losing. So I wasn't too confident, but I knew I had chances. I just rocketed his tower back here. I knew that not rocketing would just completely lose me the game, so was just hoping I could maybe sneak a princess through. I knew he had Evo Skellies in hand, so I did hit him with the Goblin Barrel. I was just waiting, though, because I knew I had to put the barrel in the front because he wasted the log there, but I also knew that at the same time he would know where my barrel is going, so I probably wouldn't get any hits on the tower. I do go Knight Barrel here with the barrel in the front, hoping that he messed up his Evo Skeletons, which he did, but he fixed his mistake with that really good Electro Spirit, so I still end up getting no damage, unfortunately. And then he just rockets me again. He's pretty much only rocketing me when he has the LP down, because he'll have the rocket quicker than me, which kind of sucks because he just gets 2 rockets in the time that I get 1. I do Goblin Gang here, and I go for the log. He predicted me again with the Goblin Gang. I did go for the Evo Skellies, though, kind of hoping to get something. He did a bad Tesla there, predicting my princess, but it didn't really affect the outcome of the game or matter, because all he's really doing with that is stopping me from going princess at the bridge, which I kind of really need to do right now, or else I'm not going to get any damage, but I know how hard it was going to be to get a princess at the bridge hit against him, especially from this position of the game. Kind of just gave up with the princess. I rocketed him back knowing there was nothing better, but this match was just kind of cooked from the beginning. I do go for the barrel, but, you know, it's just how it is, man. Not really much you can do in a matchup like this, especially against the best player in the world. I do just go for the princess to back, hoping maybe he'll rocket me and then choke. Because there is a good chance that when he rockets, I get like a quick, sneaky princess hit on the tower. And the only really way I can do that is by stacking up princesses. So I go for the log here on the princess. But there's just really nothing here, guys. There was like nothing. But obviously, you do never give up in competitive. You never, ever give up, just in case the small chance that they choke. I mean, obviously, you saw it in the last duel. I had a crazy comeback. He had a crazy comeback. So never, ever give up. And he just sees my barrel. just logs my Princess Evo Skellies on the barrel. I Princess Bridge and Evo Skellies hoping to get through. I actually do kill the E-Spirit, which is great, but my Evo Skellies don't actually connect to the Knight. If they connected to that Knight, there was maybe something there, but it didn't connect. And right here is when I knew it was actually like completely over. No chance to win. Right when he put that Knight, I just kind of gave up. I kind of threw in the towel right here, just going Princess at the bridge opposite lane and the Knight. And I think I went barrel too. Yeah, I just like with my fingers crossed. But he actually get back to my log before my barrel even lands, guys. It's like actually ridiculous. And yeah, GG. So I'm down 0-1 against Muhammad Light. Alright guys, so in the second match here, we did go for the Monk Hog Rider deck. I wasn't too confident going into this game just because I know I'm not too good with the Monk card. I don't know what it is, but I'm not actually too good with Monk. I've gotten better with Monk, but I don't know. It's just still not there yet, but I knew obviously, again, with the right matchup, you can always win. We were going for more of like a beatdown snipe here, but mainly Lava Hound, I guess, and also just like being more comfortable playing decks that I know I'm good with and know how to use 100%. He goes for the Monk there as well, plus the ability. Very good ability keeping the Wizard on full health. Right here, I thought it was Royal Giant, actually. But I knew if it was Royal Giant, he couldn't have Electro Spirit because he used it in game 1, so he'd have to have like a weird spirit. So after I realized that, I was kind of thinking more of like a Drill Nado deck. And when I saw the bats, I knew it was 100% Drill Tornado. I knew I could win this matchup, actually. I do go for the Wizard here for the Royal Ghost. Ooh. I love making the Royal Ghost noise. I don't know why, but sometimes I'm really good with it. Sometimes I'm bad with it. But I do go for the Monk. But dude, I don't know what my Monk was doing. I don't know how that happened, but at least I ended up killing the Magic Archer with the Wizard. I got kind of lucky with that, but unlucky with the other thing. So I guess unlucky and lucky at the same time. Right here, I was debating whether I go Hog Rider behind that Monk, which I definitely should have, but here I took the dumb route, and the reason I didn't Hog Rider, by the way, is because I knew he'd get a King Tower activation, but I thought if I go Hog Rider and then, like, Goblins, like, a second later, I could maybe mess him up, but he does really smart guards, and it actually full counters the Hog and the Goblins, so 6 for 3. I'm down in Elixir now, and I don't have Monk. I don't have Goblins for defense, and I go for the Ice Spirit Bats. I mean, not Bats, sorry. I Snowball, and then I see the Bats. I'm like, oh, well, I lost. GG's, and I just poisoned the King Tower. I got slammed in that second game, guys, and yeah. By the way, he was my only loss. And yeah, guys, to explain more about my match against Muhammad Light, I got 2-0'd, and he was my only loss of the tournament. As you guys know, I did end up completing the tournament 9-1, so playing 10 duels, only lost to Muhammad Light, beating some world finalists and some of the best players in the world. Definitely a very good run overall anyways, only losing to him. That's nothing to be ashamed about, I guess. And I got a really good Monk ability at the start here. We went for the RG, trying to counter Goblin Drill, Graveyard, and Minor Mortar. Or Mortar Graveyard as well. Just in general, just Cycle decks plus Graveyard. So I go for the Mother Witch here. But the Monk actually, bro, that is the craziest Monk I have ever seen in my life. I've never seen a Monk do that. So I ended up wasting my Mother Witch, unfortunately. But I still go for the Bomber with the RG. And that's how you know that was a good RG. Because even with dropping a literal Mother Witch at the bridge, my RG connects to the tower. My Barb Barrel connects to the tower. My Bomber is walking up. So that's literally how you know. I take the entire tower with dropping a Mother Witch at the bridge. Imagine if the Mother Witch actually hit something. So I actually instantly won the first game. He literally got slammed. And then after this, he just gave up. So I'll cut you guys to the next match. After the game 1, we knew that he'd go for a more comfortable deck because he kind of got destroyed in the first game. And then we also knew that he'd snipe Graveyard because we used Mother Witch. So it was just a very, very easy hard snipe to Graveyard. So we ended up using Minor Mortar with the Guards and the Poison E-Spirit. Just having a very, very easy matchup here as long as we went into Graveyard. And luckily enough, I actually did end up facing Graveyard. So I was really, really happy. I knew that if I lost this game, there would be something wrong with me. Probably the easiest matchup I could get the entire day. And I'm just waiting here to see if he'd ability. He didn't pop the ability, so I just went for the Minor quickly since he had no daggers left in his Duchess. And then I was just waiting here to go for a log on the Mortar. Well, just see if I needed to. And I just went for the log just in case it shot. Unfortunately, it did shoot the Minor, so I kind of wasted my log. But at the end of the day, it's better to be safe than sorry, especially in a matchup like this where I can only really lose if I play really badly. He goes for the Knight at the bridge. I didn't really agree with that Knight because I could just Guards here, which I did. And then he did a weird Barb Barrel too. I just go for my LP, and I had my Evo Knight and my Evo Mortar both went away. I knew he had the Evo Knight on the way, but I just went for the Mortar here, trying to pressure him, knowing he didn't really have anything good in Cycle. He does a really bad Little Prince. That Little Prince was very bad. I think he may have been nervous or something, because I think if he won this, he would have been one match away from qualifying. I just simply go for the Knight the Bridge, and then I spam my ability down. I'm really just waiting. He just did a bad poison, bad Ice Spirit, so I just went for the ability here. He didn't go for Knight or anything like that. I knew he wouldn't really be able to defend the ability unless he retargeted it, but by this point, I just got way too much damage already. I go for the last second miner, actually hoping the Knight would walk away. Unfortunately, it doesn't, but that's still a very good miner chip and nothing to be like upset about, I guess, because I can easily defend if he goes for a graveyard. All I need to do if he graveyards is just poison, and then I have guards plus my LP coming up with also Evo Knight coming up to defend everything else at the bridge. So I just go for the poison here on the graveyard, and then I have my LP. I LP down low. People are actually wondering why I did this right here. I did this right here because whenever the graveyard hits your tower through the poison, it's only on those inside spawn skeletons. So if I use my LP there, it will defend everything and block the inside spawn skeletons. I go for the E-Spirit here, pop the ability too just to get that off the board, and then I just went for the Evo Mortar plus poison on top of the LP. Here I was just kind of just spell cycling while also pressuring him with the mortar, and it worked out very well. My Evo Mortar locks onto the tower. I block the Bard Barrel, get the mortar shot on the tower. Then I just get the final mortar shot to take out the tower, and then I had my own mortar on defense, which got me a very nice 2-0 win, and that will be the end of the video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting me in CRL. I'll be playing again tomorrow in the top 32. Unfortunately, Ian didn't qualify, but he's still doing very well, and hopefully this time I can take home the golden ticket. I'll really try my best, and tomorrow, if I do qualify, I'll be in the top 8 players, and then I'll play again next Saturday, so I'll make sure to keep you guys updated on how CRL goes. Bye, guys. Hope you have a great day.